Hello everyone. So I hope you have enjoyed the video I have discussed uh, about the function. So in that particular video, I have discussed the theory related to the function, means what is function, what are the advantages of function, in which scenario we people need to use functions, what are different type of functions. Now this video is related to the practical implementation of functions. We will try to clarify our concept. What is the meaning of argument? What is the relevance of return statement? If the function will return value, then what will happen? How the return statement will work? So we will try to clarify all these concepts. So kindly thoroughly go through all the commands. So it will definitely clear your concept related to the function that we people will use in Python. So without waiting further, let's start. So in theory session, I have already shared the link also in the description section. So those who have not seen, kindly go through that particular video. Then it will be more helpful to you. So in that particular theory session, I have talked. There are two type of functions. First one is the inbuilt functions, and the second one is the user-defined functions. So in the firstly, we will see how to implement the inbuilt functions in Python. Then in the second part, we will see how to implement the user-defined functions. So the first inbuilt function you can see is the min function, and from name it is clear that it will be used to identify the minimum numbers from the list. So suppose there are three numbers, so I have simply given print minimum functions. So I have given three arguments. So let me clarify, whatever number will be written in parentheses or bracket will be called argument. So here 1 is the argument, 2 is the argument, 3 is the argument. So we can say minimum is the inbuilt function in which there are three arguments, 1, 2 and 3, and these arguments are of integer type. The first thing is clear. So if we want to identify the minimum numbers, so simply I will write in this particular fashion, select it, execute that particular command, and so since 1 is the minimum number, so you people will get 1 as the output. Similarly, if you will see the second example, that is the maximum function. So everything will remain same. The only change, it will return the maximum value. So if you will execute that particular inbuilt function, so you can see the maximum value is 3. Third important function is ABS. So ABS is the absolute function, and as per the mathematics, absolute function is used to convert negative number into positive. So if you will apply, if you want to convert the negative number into positive, kindly do apply absolute functions. Absolute function will convert positive number into positive, as well as negative number it will convert to positive. So whenever you want to change the negative number into positive, kindly do use inbuilt absolute function. So let's execute that particular function. So if you will see the output, so you can see you are getting the positive 32. So that is the working of absolute function. Then the third one is the float function. So many times we want to change the data type. So we know very well that the 10 is the integer number, and suppose I want to convert that 10, which is an integer type of number, into float number. So how we will change? We will apply the float function, and if you will execute that particular part, so you can say it has or the float function has converted 10, that is the integer value, into 10.0, and we know that the value with decimal point is known as float. So in this way we can convert integer number into float number. Similarly, many times we are having a float number or a decimal number, and we want to convert it into integer. We want to convert it into integer, then we will use int function. So if you will execute that particular function or inbuilt function, it will return the integer value. So let's check quickly. So here you can say what we people are getting. We are getting 3. So the uh, value after decimal will be ignored automatically. That is also a good function. uh, Next example, if you will see, suppose I have written 807 plus 1, means I want to add 807 plus 1. So since 807 is in single inverted comma, so it will be considered a string type of data. So we know very well that string type of data cannot be added into integer type or float type. So if you will try to do such type of things, it will definitely give error. So let's check it. And okay, so here you can say, just go through, can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So what the error? Let's try to understand error also. It's showing concatenate means to combine two strings. So it's saying that you can concatenate only two string data. Okay, means this is the string type of data. So one should also be string type of data. Then it is possible. Otherwise, it will give error. So now what is the solution for that? How to perform addition of 807 into 1? So what I will do? I will simply apply integer function. So what the integer function will do? Integer function will change string type of data into integer. And then it will add that particular integer number into 1. So now if you will execute that particular program, so now you can say you are getting output 808. So whenever we are writing such type of expressions, we are doing different type of calculations. So we are getting different type of numbers. So be very careful that the data type should be of correct type before performing such type of calculations. Okay, so let's come to the second part. So in the second part, we will see how to create user defined functions. So we will create our own functions. Till now, whatever functions or whatever example I have discussed, these all are the inbuilt functions. So we are directly calling that particular function. So let's understand the concept of user defined function. So as in the theory session, I have already discussed the syntax for creating user defined function is def keyword, then the name of the function, and then the bracket or parenthesis will be there. After function name and parenthesis, you will use colon symbol. Then whatever be the logic of the program, that you need to write after indentation, and if there is a single statement will be there. If there are more than one statement, keep writing all the statements, but be careful, indentation should be maintained. So this is the definition part of the function. And if you will talk about the calling function, in the calling function, you will see you will write the name of the function and bracket. Okay, so again I am repeating, whenever you want to call the function, always remember you will need to write the function and then the parenthesis. So the logic of that particular user defined function is, so our function name is prn, and I want to print hello. What I want to print? I want to print hello. So let's see how that particular function will execute. So as soon as that particular calling function will execute, the control will go from calling part to the definition part. Again I am repeating, as soon as we will call any particular function, the control will go from calling part to the definition part. And what is the logic of that particular function? That is print hello. So hello will be printed. And once the function will execute, our control will get back to the place where we people have called the function. That is the sequence, always remember. So let's execute that particular, let's call that particular function, click on run statement. You can say the hello has been printed. So always remember, so there are two parts in the function. The definition part will contain the logic of the function, and the calling part will be used to call that particular function. So let's see a few more examples. In this example, one more thing I will like to share, that this is the function without argument and return. So here you can say there is a no argument written inside the parenthesis. So that's why in this function no argument, and there is a no return statement. Let's see another type of function. So in this you can say the function with argument and return statement. So this is another way to writing the function. So now the logic is the function is def spam. This is the argument x, and the logic of the function is x is equal to x plus 1, and it will return the final value of x. Now let's understand how it will work. So this is the calling part of the function. So I have called the spam function and pass the value 4. So as soon as that function will be called, the 4 value will be copied into x. Again I am repeating, as soon as the spam function will called, the 4 value will be stored in or copied into x. Now x equal to x plus 1 means 4 plus 1, that is 5. So 5, now the x value will change to 5. Now I have write the statement return 5. So now the return statement will always return the value to the place where it has been called. So 5, where that 5 value will be returned, the 5 value will be returned to the place where it has been called. So it will return to the this particular place, that is 5. So let's execute that particular function. So here you can say we people are getting 5 output. So this is the example of function with argument and return type. Let's see the next example. So in this example, function without return statement. Okay, or you can say since it's a function without return statement, let's see how it will execute. Again spam 4 will be copied into x, that is now the x value is changed to 4, and 4 plus 1, that is 5. Now if you will execute that particular program, so see, you people must be thinking that 5 should be the output. Let's see what will be the output. So here you can see we will not get any particular output. Why we are not getting any particular output? Because there is a no return statement. So since the function has not returned any value, so nothing has been returned to the calling part. So that's why you will not get any particular output. So that's why you need to understand the relevance of return statement whenever you are using function in your program. Let's see the function, the same program with the return statement now. Now in this particular program, I want to store the return value. What I want to store the return value. So what is happening now? Spam 14 function will be called, 14 will be copied to x, and 14 plus 1, that is 15, return 15. So 15 will be returned to the place where the function has been called, but when that particular value will be returned, I have stored it into variable. So here it is clear that 15 will be stored into answer. 15 will be stored into answer. Now if you will write print answer, so it is very much clear the output will be 15 in this particular case. So let's check our concept. Okay, so now you can say we people are getting output 15. Let's see the next. So in next example, returning multiple value from the function. So those who have done C, C++, so we people keep on learning one function can return only one value. That myth has been changed in Python. We can return more than one value from the function. So let's see how we will return more than one value, or how we will store more than one value in a variable. So the concept is very simple. There is a function min-max. So I have passed two arguments, 7 and 3. 7 will be stored into x and 3 will be stored into y. So I have written return min x comma y comma max x comma y. So it is very much clear that this function is returning two value. So minimum of 7 and 3 is 3. and maximum of 3 and 7 is 7. So it will return two values, that is the 3 and 7. So again these two values will be returned to the calling part. So since this function is returning two values, so here you will see in the left hand side I have written a comma b. So the minimum value which will be returned will be stored into a, and the maximum value which will be returned will be stored into b. So if there are three values returning from the function, then you can write a comma b comma c. But here you need to remember the sequence always. So here it is clear, the minimum value that the 3 will be stored into a, and the maximum value that the 7 will be stored into b. So if you will print the value of a comma b, so but obvious the result will be 3, 7. So let's check that particular output. You can check. So that's why we are getting 3 and 7 as the output. Let's see one more concept. So suppose there is one more very important concept, that is the default argument. Default arguments. Let's try to understand that concept. So whenever we people want to write default argument, so here the default argument we need to initialize with any particular value. So here in that particular case, y is the default argument. So that's why I've written y equal to 0. So the concept of default argument is that, so suppose I have written or I have called a function spam14, but here I have given only a single argument. While if you will see in the calling function, there are two arguments, that is the x and y equal to 0. So here since y equal to 0 is the default argument, so what will happen? 14 will be stored into x, and since I have not written the second value, so by default it will consider the value of y is equal to 0. What will be the result? X 14, y 0. So it will return 14. Now if you will see the second case, I have written spam 14 comma 6. In this particular case, 14 will be stored into x and 6 will be stored into y. 6 will be stored into y. So now if you will execute that 14 plus 6, now this time it will return 20. So the important thing which you people need to note down, that in default argument, if you will not give that particular value, it will take the default value, and if you will give the specific value, it will not take the default value, while it will take that particular value. Okay, so now you can understand that in the first case output will be 14, in the second case the output will be 20. Let's quickly execute that particular part. Okay, so here you can say we people are getting output 14 and 20. So that is again a very important concept. I hope you people have understood that particular concept. Let's talk one more important concept, that function can have function as an argument. Looks a little bit of complex, but actually it's very easy. So I want one argument as a function. Let's see how we will use. So suppose there is a function order in which there are three arguments x, y, z, and it will return z, x, comma, y. So let's come to the calling part to better understand. So here I have called the order function. The first argument is 4, the second is 6, and the third one is maximum. What will happen? 4 will store into x, 6 will store into y, and max will store into z. Here the important thing you people note down, max will store into z. What will happen? Return z. Value is max. So max value of 4 comma 6. So max value of 4 comma 6 will be 6. So if you will execute that particular program or function, so you will get output 6. So we can use the inbuilt function also as a argument. You can use max, you can use ABS, you can use minimum. So all these functions also you can use, or we can say we can use function name as a argument. Let's come to the last second last part. So in this particular part we will now combine the two concepts of the Python. That means we will use the concept of function along with the conditional statement, that is the if else statement. So we are going to mix both the concept. So suppose I want to make a program in which I want to check whether the number is even or odd by using function. Okay, so here the logic I have given to my function, the name is even odd. This is the number which I want to check. So this here, from this particular place, the function has been started. Inside that particular function, I have given a conditional statement, that is, if x percent 2 equal to 0, means if the number will be divided by 2 and the remainder will be 0, then we know very well we will print that the number is even. And if this condition is false, means after dividing the x by 2 we people are not getting 0 as the remainder, then we will write the number, or we will print odd. So that is the simple logic, but I have tried to mix the function concept with conditional statement. So that's why you can see the two columns I have used. Kindly be careful while writing these columns. So the first function is even odd. I have passed 17. 17 will be copied into x. 17% 2. 17 when divided by 2 we will not get 0. So that's why the output will be odd. When we will pass 10, so x equal to 10. 10% 2 we know, then the 10 will be divided by 2. We will get remainder 0. So in that case we will get output even. So let's check that particular program also. Wonderful. So you can say in the case of 17 we are getting odd, and in the case of 10 we are getting even option. Similarly, let's take one more example. Suppose I want to check, I am having a 2 number and I want to check that which number is greater. So here the concept function will be larger. So since two numbers are there, so x comma y. So the logic will be if x is greater than y, print largest equal to x, else print largest equal to y. So here one more thing, if I want to add a string in the output, so for example I want to print largest equal to that particular number. So always remember, as I have shared earlier also, that both data type should be of string type. So that's why largest plus I have converted x into string type. So now I have passed 17 comma 7. So 17 will be copied into x, 7 will be copied into y. Now it will check 17 is greater than 7. Condition is true. So the output will be largest equal to 17. So let's execute that particular part. Okay. Here you can see we are getting output largest equal to 17. So these are the 16 small concept I have discussed in that particular lecture. So kindly keep revising. And the most important thing is, like in mathematics, practice is important. Similarly in programming also the practice is very important. More you practice, more your syntax will be clear, more your concept will be clear, and you people will be able to write more clear programming. So thank you so much. Kindly don't forget to like that particular video. Don't forget to subscribe. I will keep making such type of video for you and try to clear your concept as much as possible. Thank you so much.